To find the highest common factor of 24 and 16, we're going to start by looking at each of the whole numbers 24 and 16 and writing all of their factors. So if we look at the whole number 24, we're going to find all of its factors. So let's see. To find its factors, we're going to work our way up the number line and starting at 1, and for each of those numbers we're going to see if when we divide 24 by that number, it gives us another whole number. That's going to become clearer right now. Starting from 1, if we divide 24 by 1, we get 24. So 1 is a factor of 24. The next number is 2. If we divide 24 by 2, we get 12. That's also a whole number. So 2 is also a factor of 24. The next whole number is 3. If we divide 24 by 3, we'll get 8. And 8 is also a whole number. So 3 is a factor. Next along the line is 4. If we divide 24 by 4, we'll get 6. So 4 is also a factor of 24. Carrying on, the next number is 5. If we divide 24 by 5, we will not get a whole number. Consequently, 5 is not a factor of 24, and so we move on to the next. The next number is 6. If we divide 24 by 6, we'll get 4. So 6 is definitely a factor of 24. After 6 comes 7. If we divide 24 by 7, we will not get a whole number, so 7 isn't a factor of 24. We now look at 8. If we divide 24 by 8, we'll get 3, and 3 is a whole number, so 8 is a factor of 24. The next whole number is 9. If we divide 24 by 9, we won't get a whole number, so 9 is not a factor of 24. Then for 10, if we divide 24 by 10, we'll get 2.4, which definitely isn't a whole number either, so 10 isn't a factor. If we divide 24 by 11, we won't get a whole number either, so 11 isn't a factor. Next up is 12. If we divide 24 by 12, we'll get 2, so 12 is definitely a factor. Since 12 is half of 24, we don't have to look at any of the other integers, any of the other whole numbers. Once we've gone halfway, we can stop. The only factor that we mustn't forget is 24 itself, because 24 divided by 24 is 1, which is also a whole number. And so right now, we've listed all of the factors of 24. We now do the same for 16. Don't worry, we'll go a little faster for this one. So I can divide 16 by 1, and that will give me 16. So 1 is a factor. Same thing for 2. If I divide 16 by 2, I'll get 8. So 2 is a factor. 3 isn't a factor. 4 is a factor. 5 is not a factor, remember. If I divide 16 by 5, I definitely won't get a whole number. Next one up, 6. If I divide 16 by 6, we won't get a whole number either, so 6 is not a factor. Same thing for 7. 16 divided by 7 is not a whole number. And 16 divided by 8 is a whole number. So 8 is definitely a factor. And 8 is half of 16, so we can go straight away and go to the last digit, which is 16. And 16 divided by 16 is definitely a whole number, since it's equal to 1. We've now got both of the lists of all the factors of 24 and of 16. And so now it's just about comparing both of these lists and looking at the biggest number that they both have in common. Looking at the factors of 24 and of 16, we can see that the biggest factor that they have in common is 8. And finally we can write the answer. The highest common factor of 24 and 16 is 8. And so we write HCF of 24 and 16 is equal to 8. And we're done.